begin in mountain pose. As you make your way up to a standing position, just take a few deep breaths. Nice full inhale, breathing through your nose, and a complete exhale, perhaps through your mouth, so you can sigh it out. And again, a nice full breath in. Really feel the fullness of the breath. And exhale completely. Feel how your shoulders relax. And just continue to breathe in and out normally. Check in with your body. A little movement, maybe starting with your shoulders. Just a little roll of the shoulders. Check in with your head and neck. And just work your way down your body. Some light movement or just the awareness of your body, just a scan, internal scan, just working from your head all the way down through your torso, legs down to your feet. As you're breathing and checking in with your body, just notice how you're feeling. Notice what parts of your body might need special attention today. And maybe during your practice you do take some time with that part or parts. We'll be focusing on hips and some twisting today. Hopefully that'll open up tight hips, maybe a tight low back. But like with every practice, remember that it's your practice. So move in a way that you need to move. Guide yourself into postures that would feel good to you. Let's just bring a little bit more awareness to the breath. So as you inhale, just feel breath rising upward, fill up your lungs. So a nice expansive breath. With this exhale, draw your navel inward towards your spine, that light pulling in action of your belly. That's the abdominal lock. Again, an inhale, feel the lengthening in your spine as breath rises, filling up your lungs. Now your exhale, draw inward, a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. Just continue breathing like this. Already engaging in a yoga practice just with this breathing effort. Mindful breath, paying attention. Good. Let's take 3 more breaths, using these breaths to prepare your body to move. Remember, as you move through your practice, take your time. Modify and rest whenever you need to. Whenever you're ready to move, let's inhale, extend your arms overhead. Good stretch, reach all the way up, energy through your fingertips. Exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Yes, bend your knees as much as you need to, and then just guide your way down, maybe touching your toes, or maybe your hands just reach your shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or your knees and extend your spine. Feel like you're coming forward. And exhale, just melt your way down. Feel the natural curve of the spine. Be sure to release your head and neck, even your shoulders. That's if you're going to hang heavily forward. But if you need to modify this pose, you might just have your hands resting on your shins, almost like you're holding yourself up a little bit. And wherever you are, another body scan. Just notice what's happening in the body. Where sensation is showing up, perhaps in the low back if it is a little tight. Your hamstrings, your glutes. Again, remember to release your neck and head. You might even just nod yes a few times, shake your head no. We're going to rise up to halfway. So as you inhale, just slide your hands up to your shins or knees. Rise up to a flat back parallel to the floor. We'll hold here with the exhale. And just keep breathing in and out, lengthening through the spine as best as you can, keeping a slight bend in the knees, making sure there's an equal amount of weight in the feet, You're not shifting or sitting in your heels or weighted into your toes. One more breath in and out. And then to finish the standing process, do shift your weight into your heels. Bend your knees and lower your hips like you're about to sit down. Lift your heart, take your arms out to the side, and with an inhale, rise up and reach up into the air. Good. Exhale, you can bring your hands together and down to your heart, or bring your arms down to your side. We'll just pause here, take a breath or two. Good. Keeping this mindful connection. Let's go through our half salute once again. Whenever you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Good energy in your arms, hands, and fingers. Exhale, lead with your heart, fold forward, soft knees. Guide your way down, partially or all the way down. And inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees. Re-extend your spine, flat like a table. Exhale, fold back down towards your toes. Release head, neck, and shoulders. Again, your weight shift into the heels, bend your knees, lower your hips, lift your heart, arms out to the side, and grow tall as you inhale. Reach into the air. Exhale, hands to heart or arms down to your side. Nice. Again, just return to your breath. We'll continue with our full sun salutation. Inhale, arms out and up, reaching into the air. Exhale, swan dive forward. Making your way down. Remember to move at your own pace. Inhale, rise up halfway. Feel the crown of your head lead you forward. This exhale, fold, bend your knees all the way down. Get low enough to place your hands on your mat so you can walk or step or even hop your feet back into plank pose. Once here, draw a straight line in the body. This high push-up position. Feel your body feel strong here. Breathe in, getting ready to move. Exhale, bend your knees a little to send your hips right up into the air. Our shortcut to downward facing dog. Be sure to make some adjustments with your feet, even your hands on your mat to help you settle into the pose. We'll hold here for several breaths. So settle in. Again, paying attention to how this feels for you, this inverted posture. It really does affect just about every part of your body. You can hold in stillness or add movement here as it feels good. Checking with feet and toes, calves and knees and hips. If you need to rest, you can always just come down to your knees, even sit back into child's pose. And ready to move from here. And inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in for support. Bend your knees so you can walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of the mat. You'll end in forward fold. Once here, inhale, extend through the spine, rise up halfway. Exhale, refold, back down. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive to come up. Reach high, there it is. Exhale, take chair pose, Utkatasana. It could be a high seat, it can also be a low seat or somewhere in between. You can keep the arms straight out or even bend your elbows. We're going to hold here for a moment. Just feel the balance of this posture. Perhaps there is a weight shift into the heels. So you're kind of sitting back. Toes are light. You can lift the toes and hold them there or even tap your toes. Okay, coming out of it, breathe in. And exhale, dive out of your seat down towards toes, forward fold. Let's continue. Inhale, rise up halfway, elongate through your spine. Exhale, fold all the way down. Plant your hands, hop, step, or walk your feet back into plank pose. Again, your high push-up position. You can take a breath in with the exhale. Finish your push-up if you'd like, coming down to Chaturanga Dandasana or some variation of flow to get to that position, or skip all that and go right into downward facing dog. You can always use that shortcut this time or any time. Very nice. You had a nice upward facing dog into cobra or cobra, and then downward facing. Let's continue. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, reaching for the wall, strong and straight. Exhale, let's send right foot up to the top of the mat. Once you've landed up top there, turn your left heel to the floor behind you. Shift your weight back into that foot so your hands feel light. You can easily hinge from hips, rising up facing forward. Exhale, hinge and fold. Make your way down, plant your hands strongly, then slide or pull the right foot back to meet the other. Finish your flow as you'd like, maybe Chaturanga Dandasana into an up dog, guiding your body into downward facing dog. Modify if you need to, skip parts of that flow. just meeting together in downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg into the air, strong and straight. Exhale it, step up to the top of the mat near left hand. Right heel turns to the floor, finding your center. Light hand so you can hinge from hips, rising into the air, opening up through the heart space. Exhale, fold, make your way back down. Strong connection to the floor with the hands, pull the left foot back, and finish your sequence. Chaturanga Dandasana, up dog or cobra. Nice heart opener here. And exhale, downward facing dog. Once in downward facing, let's take a few breaths. Let's do some floor work. So gently kneel down, sit back briefly in hero so you can sit off to the side. So we can get the legs out in front of us here. Make sure you're sitting in the center of your mat. You've got some room behind you. And go ahead and roll down onto your back. And just hug your knees in toward your body. Add some movement here. Nice deep breaths. Getting ready to re-engage the body as we move into our bridge pose. So you'll set your feet onto the ground, knees bent, nice strong connection to the ground with the feet. Nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty the belly. You might even breathe out through your mouth. With that engaged core, lift hips up into the air. You can just hold yourself up like this, or even use your hands to assist the lifting of the hips. You might even get your arms and shoulders a bit more underneath you. That can also allow your arms to help assist lifting the upper body. So you might bend your arms so they're at 90 degrees, pressing the backs of the arms down into the mat, just as you're pressing down into the mat with your feet. And this should support the upper body. So a couple deep breaths, expansive breaths, so you can feel this good opening through the whole front side of your body. This is a heart opener, but maybe pay attention to maybe low belly, the psoas, belt line, okay, your hip flexors, your thighs, kind of that section of the body, just maybe ribs down to mid-thigh. And then wiggle your toes forward, just making space to get out of the pose. Extend your arms up into the air, getting your shoulders out from underneath you, and then roll down. Just bring your arms down to your side. Keep the knees bent for a moment, feet flat on the floor. Just feel the body soften. We have another pose here. I mentioned we're going to be doing some hip openers and some twists. Let's do a twist here. Let's do a windshield wiper twist. So you might step your feet out to the edges of your mat, right out to the edges. And let's start by taking both knees over towards the left side. Okay. Now the left leg is just doing kind of a natural outer spiral or outer rotation. And that might affect the inner leg there. But with the right leg, it's dipping inward, and so we're getting an inner rotation of that leg. And just notice what this feels like in the hip, maybe even the low back. What I like to do, because I get pretty tight in my low back and hips, with this position, I'm extending the right arm behind me, reaching to the wall. And I just feel a little bit more of a stretch and release in that low back area on the right side. For a little extra, if you want, you can place the left foot on top of that right knee and just put you more into a twist. You don't have to do that, but you can kind of test it out to see how that feels. Okay, just one more breath. All right, we'll unbind. So if that foot's on top of the knee, release. Let's bring the knees back up to center, the right arm down by your side, and just pause there so everything can come back to neutral. Again, making sure the feet are wide, and then slowly take the knees over to the right side. And affecting perhaps the inner right leg, or now the left leg as it spirals inward. Notice how this might feel in your hip, low back, even the side of the body. Perhaps extend the left arm behind you. Notice how that feels. Maybe placing the right foot on top of that left knee just to draw it down closer to the ground without forcing it, and certainly without over-rotating. So just notice how that feels. We certainly don't want to overstress the body in this pose or any pose that we practice. All right, a couple more breaths. Getting a little space in our bodies. All right, let's unbind. Bring the knees back up to center, left arm down by your side. We'll pause there for just a moment. And then go ahead and extend the legs out in front of you and reach your arms behind you. Just continuing to make space. This nice stretch, reaching in opposite directions. Then when you're ready, draw both knees into your body. We're going to rock our way up to seated or roll to one side and press yourself up to seated and come to boat pose. Lots of variations of boat. Let me just show you this one. You can keep feet on the floor. You can keep your hands on the floor as a way just to keep the chest proud and lifted if you want. Okay, or free up the hands, free up the feet, okay? Or hold on to the legs, just as long as you kind of create this V shape or like a boat shape of the body. Knees can remain bent, you can extend the legs, flexing or pointing the toes there. All right, ready to move. Inhale like you're floating up out of the boat. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side so you can hop back or just swing the feet back behind you. Returning to plank pose, still feeling that core engagement. Go ahead and take a shortcut to downward facing dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, make some adjustments with feet and hands. Take a breath. Let's add another lunge sequence. When you're ready, inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Hold for a second just to feel the body get a little longer. Imagine you were still lying on the floor. Okay, extending your body in those opposite directions. You're just doing it a little differently here. Let's open the hip by bending the knee. Yeah, bring your heel down a bit toward your backside. A slight lift of the knee straight up will create a bit of a twist in the spine and opens the hip there. Good. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. We're sending right foot to the top of the mat. Landing there. Left heel turns to the floor. Finding your center, shifting the weight back. Light hands, you can easily hinge your way up. And exhale, opening to a warrior two. Adjusting that back foot, checking in with this front knee, knee and toes pointing forward, nice opening through the legs, tall torso, outstretched arms, yes, energy through the fingers. Let's move into a side angle pose, reach out, angled upper body, you've got it, rotate your arm so right hand is reaching toward the floor, doesn't have to touch it, but reaching toward it, left hand reaching towards the sky. Good breathing here. Good. Breathe in. We're going to move. Exhale. Let's turn and fold. Hands to the floor. Stay here for a second. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. You just hold that for a second. Okay, and just realize this runner's lunge. See if you can, if you're low enough, can you place the whole palm, both palms on the floor and push. I have long arms, so maybe it's a little easier for me. Lifting the hips slightly. Root down into the floor with the hands so it lightens the right foot so you can slide and pull it back to plank pose. Take another shortcut to downward facing dog. The other side. Inhale, extend left leg up and back. Reach and hold. Keep breathing. Getting longer. Yes. Effort. There's effort in that lifted foot. Finding the wall behind you. Opening the hip now. So bend the knee. A little lift of the knee. Experience the rotation in the spine. The opening of the hip. Add movement here if you'd like. If it feels good to, big circle with that knee in the air. If your hip feels a little tight, maybe you can unlock it a little bit. Yeah, with some circles. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, breathing in, and the exhale to help you come out of the pose. Unwinding, stepping through, left foot to the top of the mat. You'll be in a runner's lunge, but then you'll turn that right heel to the floor to really ground, find center, then rise up. There it is, reaching into the sky. Exhale, opening to your warrior two. Adjusting the feet. You might want to go a little wider if you want, a little bit more distance between the feet. Nice deep lunge, really getting into the hips and inner legs. Tall torso floating up out of the pelvic bowl. Let's reach out, over that left thigh, angled upper body, rotate the arms, side angle pose is where we end up. Good breathing. Good, breathing in, here we go. Exhale, turn and fold. Hands to the floor, rise up onto tiptoes behind you. A pause here. And if you can see me, okay, I can reach the floor with my palms, but if you need a block or two, you can always use blocks here. But check in with your hips. If you're kind of sinking into this, okay, with the hips, see if you can lift the hips up, okay? Activating the legs and hips. That way, the foot in front there can be a little lighter. Okay, pushing hands in the floor, slide the left foot back into your plank pose. You can take another shortcut to down dog or finish that whole vinyasa coming down, finishing the push-up. So chaturanga dandasana, four-limbed staff pose, up dog or cobra, nice. Then exhale, downward facing dog, well done. A breath or two right there. When you're ready, breathing in. Exhale, float your way back up to the top of the mat to a forward fold. Both feet come forward. Once here, rise up halfway. Just slide your hands to your shins or knees. Exhale, let's melt back down. Our weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Yeah, reaching into the air. This exhale, bring your arms down to your side. All right, check in with the body, some movement as it feels good. Move into some balance here. So a tree pose, which also I consider a hip opener. So once in mountain pose, be sure the knees are soft. Start shifting your weight into your right foot, press into the floor. There you go. Nice and tall. Inhale, long torso, long spine. Exhale, pull belly in. That's our support. So we can lift up this left foot, flexed foot there. Swing the knee out to the corner of the room or to the side of the room. Placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. So that's our hip opener. Nice outer rotation. Then extend your arms up into the air, reaching straight up or kind of out at an angle. You can always bend elbows. Finding something to focus on out in front of you, or even just dart your eyes downward towards the floor. Good. Keep the arms as they are. Swing that left knee forward. Lift your knee with the flexed foot so you can plant the foot back down into the ground. And you can bring your arms back down by your side and then shake all that out. Check in with that foot, that leg you were just standing on. Then return to mountain pose, ready for the other side. So again, soft knees, weight shift into left foot, root down, nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, pull belly in, the abdominal lock. We're peeling right foot up off the floor. There's our hip opener, swinging the knee out to the side. Plug it in. Okay. I just like that transition, so we're really getting into that hip socket there. Extending arms up into the sky. Reach, open, just to give you a little bit more neck and shoulder space, or even more space with bent elbows. Breath. Wonderful, good. We'll keep the arms as they are. We'll swing the right knee forward now, lifting knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground. Arms can come back down and release. All righty. Does everyone have a block? Let's grab a block since we're still in standing here. Did you get a block? Do a chair pose with a twist. So we'll just use a block. It's really optional to use the block. Just squeeze the block just above the knees, inner thighs. A reminder to hug in towards center just as you draw belly button in. Okay. So we're going to inhale. Let's take the arms out and up. Exhale, take your chair pose. You don't have to sit back too deeply. I mean, this could be the end right here. If you want to and can go a little lower, you're certainly welcome. And then bring hands to heart center. There is a weight shift back into the hips and heels, so you feel the engagement back here. Toes are light. Long torso. Here comes our twist. So breathe in to really get the spine a little bit longer. Exhale, pull belly in, squeeze the block, and a mild twist or rotation towards your right side. Doesn't have to be too much, just as your seat doesn't have to be too deep, nor does your twist have to be too deep. Yes. You want to feel as if your hip bones, your tailbone is still pointing directly to the back of the room. And same with the crown of your head, the very top of your head still pointing to the front of the room. Just be aware if your head and body has shifted and you're pointing more towards the corner of your mat, for example. You can just check in. Nice. Let's breathe in. And the exhale, let's unwind. Place your hands on your thighs and just feel that realignment of the spine and hips. Even press into your thighs to help you stand. Extend your arms up into the air. We'll just go right into the other side. Chair pose. High seat or low seat. Go ahead and bring hands to heart center. Make any adjustments with feet. Adjust your block if you need to. Okay, so here's your alignment. You're already there. Hips and tailbone are pointing back, crown is pointing forward. You're just kind of spinning on that axis. So when you're ready, breathe in. Exhale, pull belly in, squeeze your block, and now rotate to your left. Okay, just spinning on that axis, yeah? Good. That active sitting back sensation, okay? Like as if there was a chair behind you and you're trying to reach for it. Meanwhile, the top of your head is drawing you forward. Good. Good awareness. Yeah, just kind of look around, check to see and feel where you are. Okay, here we go. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind, hands on thighs. Go ahead and grab your block. Release it from the legs there and just slowly fold. Place your block on your left side, on the left side of your mat. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands into the ground, hop or step back into plank pose. Come down if you'd like, Chaturanga Dandasana. Good, inhale, upward facing dog or a cobra pose, there it is. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, you can modify those, skip those as you like. Just keep it moving. Inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. Just getting the body moving with breath. We're going to unwind from that twist and step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Back to our warrior one. Left heel to the ground. Find your center. Rise when you're ready. You don't have to rush this. Exhale, opening to your warrior two. Maybe a little wider with the feet. Just an option. Just check in. Side angle pose. Reach out, rotate. Yeah, I love it. Love that transition. Okay, hold for a breath or two because we're going to revolve this posture. Here we go. We're going to breathe in. Exhale, turn. Bring your left hand down to that left block. Bring it in closer to you if you need to on your mat. And then rise up on your tiptoes behind you as we did earlier. Kind of that runner's lunge. From here, extend your right arm out to the right side like an airplane wing. Okay, just like our chair pose that we twisted. Okay, stay here for a second. Your crown is pointing forward. Okay, your hips are being drawn back. Inhale, get a little longer as you're able. Exhale, using the airplane wing, start to rotate a bit towards your right side. You don't have to go very far. That right hand doesn't have to reach directly up towards the ceiling. It might be at an angle. Okay, but you still have that alignment. The crown is still pointing mostly forward. Okay, your hips are being drawn back. Good, yes. All right, breathing in. Exhale slowly, unwinding. Just bring the hands to the floor, so hand off the block, even move the block over to the other side. Plant the hands, listen, we're gonna plant the hands, pull the right foot back and up into the air, guide your body into down dog. Okay, so right leg is re-extended in the air, straight line. Okay, bend and twist once again, because we're gonna take this to a new pose. With this bend and twist, maybe feel as if you can step over a little bit more, but not going all the way over. We're going to pigeon pose from here with an exhale. Let's bring right knee down to the floor behind right wrist. Of course, we're angling the leg. Set the left knee onto the ground. Use the left knee and toes to find your center, just like we do in the other lunges. Getting some of the weight off the hands. Inhale, extend through the spine. Exhale, act as if you're crawling forward. Might even bring your elbows and forearms to the floor. You can bring your head to the floor, bring in that block that's on your right side, and maybe rest your forehead on the block. Now, if this is a little too much today, okay, sitting kind of on this right leg, affecting the ankle, knee, and hip, feel free to flip over onto your back and cross right ankle over left thigh and do a reclining version of pigeon pose. Very nice. While we're here and you're still settling in, let's see if we can get a little longer. Now the movements here may be very slight or even non-existent. What you want to do with the left foot behind you, and really reach through your toes and lengthen, like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your left foot. You might even lift your head just a little bit and try to extend the spine like you're trying to come forward. Now again, these are very minimal movements, but it does create a little bit more length, maybe a little bit more space. Three more breaths. All right, we're going to add a twist to this pigeon pose. So you're just going to lift a little bit. Your hands are still on the floor out in front of you. You might still be at this angle like this with the upper body. With the left arm, just place the forearm onto the floor. Okay, you might be even parallel with the front edge of your mat. Place your right hand on your right thigh. Okay. Gently push into the thigh with the intention of trying to go forward, leading through the crown of your head. You're going forward, just try to make more space in the spine and hips. With the exhale, push down into the thigh and just rotate a bit to your right. Three more breaths. So it's really about the elongation of the spine. Still feeling like you're trying to come forward. We just added this rotation. Okay, soften things up, unwind, both hands on the mat here. So you can lift up a little bit more, sit off to your right side. Let's bring this left leg around to the front. Let's come to cobbler's pose, bound angle. So the soles of the feet together, yeah? Just hold on to the ankles. Okay, and just sit up nice and tall here for a moment. Okay, you might even hinge forward. You can even lower your head and let the back round. We're not going to be here too long. Two more breaths. Let's re-extend the spine, just lift the chin, feel the re-extension of the torso, hinge your way back up so you're sitting tall, but then continue to lean back, core engage, release the ankles, bring the knees together and lift the feet, and see if you can just return to boat pose here. Hold yourself up if you need to help re-extend spine. We'll flow, breathing in like you're floating up out of the boat. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side, so you can swing the feet back or hop back or step back plank pose. Feel free to take just a shortcut to down dog or complete a full series to get you to downward facing. That whole segment on the other side. Starting with an inhale to extend left leg into the air, bend and twist, getting a nice flow. We're going to unwind, step through, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Right heel turns to the ground, finding your center, rising when you're ready. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Good. Maybe a little bit more distance between the feet. You've got it. Side angle pose, reach out, rotate the arms. Getting prepared to revolve this posture. Here we're going to breathe in. Exhale, let's turn and fold. Hands to the floor, but bring in that right block. Turn it up as high as you need to. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Okay, feel this nice extension. Okay, extending through the torso, led through the crown of your head. Yeah, extend your left arm out to the side. There's your airplane wing. Get longer as you inhale. Exhale, pull belly button up towards spine or in towards spine, and then a little rotation towards your left. Remember, you don't have to turn too far. It still might be, your hand might be reaching more towards the corner of the room, but not necessarily the ceiling. Whenever you're practicing twists or rotations, you want to get as long as possible, so moving in opposite directions. Breathe in, exhale, let's return to the earth. Okay, you can move your block out of the way here, plant the hands, slide the left foot back and right up into the air, downward facing dog. So we return to down dog, feel the straight line, moving in opposite directions even here. Bend and twist, bend the knee, lift the knee. Feel as if you're going to step all the way over. We're not, but just feel like you're going to step into wild thing. Then unwind, pigeon. Exhale, left knee gently lands behind left wrist, angled leg. Use right knee and toes, shifting your body back, finding center, but also establishes depth. Inhale, nice extension of the torso. Exhale, crawl forward. Resting on forearms and elbows. Use other props to assist you. Remember, maybe you can hold this for a few breaths, but you would prefer to flip over onto your back. Yes, wonderful opportunity to really pay more attention to your breathing, making more space, especially in areas that are really needing that attention. Maybe get a little longer. Use the right knee and toes to crawl that right leg back or reach back a bit more. Lift your head and try to bring your body forward, extending through the spine a bit more. And then just settle back in. Twist this pose in a moment. Maybe 3 more breaths here in our pigeon pose. We're slowly rising, just lifting the elbows, hands are out in front of you, just lifting. We're still at an angle, just so we can get the right arm, forearm on the floor to prop ourselves up. Placing left hand on your left thigh here. Remember, push into the thigh with the intention of extending spine. So remember, you're going forward. Make the space, create the length before we twist. Next, exhale, another press into the thigh, then rotate on that axis. Notice where you feel this. How does this affect your body? Where is this showing up? Three more breaths. Okay, we're softening, unwinding, placing hands on the mat. So you can lift up a little bit more, sit off to your left side, enough so you can swing this right leg around to the front, back to our cobbler's pose. This time, let's bring the hands behind us. Maybe your fingers pointing behind you. Maybe sitting like this. But pushing into the floor so that your torso feels long and lifted, but the shoulders are drawn back. Even tip the chin up a little bit so we create a minor back bend. You can stay just like this, and by lifting through the torso, as the heart lifts and the torso rises, it makes space in the hips, so your knees might even drop open a little bit more. You can stay just like that or add more by pushing into the floor with your hands. Lift your hips off the ground and send your pelvis down towards your heels, just to make that a little deeper if you want. Even tip the head back, but not constricting the breath. You can come back down, softening that. And back to a boat pose. So leaning back, knees together, lift feet. Yes. Okay, inhale like you're floating up. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side. Hop or step back, plank pose. Okay, bring knees to the floor, sit back briefly, actually not briefly, into hero, because I'm going to have you sit here for a moment. If this is uncomfortable, sit in a different way. Just sit on the floor, sit on a block. And we're going to attempt something here. Okay, another twist, okay, with the hip opener. So we're going to come back to a standing posture. Like I'm setting up for tree pose, I'm going to lift my left foot here. I'm going to bend the knees significantly, lift the left foot, kick, a little soccer kick here, Ted Lasso reference, crossing ankle over thigh and take a seat. You're going to bring your hands to your hips just so you can feel that your hips are aligned, because that's going to help with balance, and then just sit, okay? You can stay up high, you can stay just like this. If you can kind of sink into this, go here. Okay? Even bring arms here. If you brace your arms pretty strongly with some effort into the shins, that's another way of extending your spine. Feel like you're just pushing into your shins, but trying to extend forward, making length in the spine. We're going to add on to this. I'm just going to hold on with my right hand to my left ankle, free up the left hand, hold on to the foot. Airplane wing, and rotate. Okay, so turning that into a twist with a balance. Okay, it's the opposite direction. In pigeon, we did it this way. Okay, and here we're going to take it the other way. Balance. Okay, rising back up, unwinding. Okay, all right, back to a downward facing dog from where you are. We'll play with that a little bit. Breathe in. Exhale, bend knees, hop or step forward, both feet up to the top of the mat, stay on your feet. Inhale, monkey pose, that's our extended spine, flat back. Exhale, fold, nice release, head, neck, and shoulders. Spend another second or two there, shake it out. Then weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach up. Again, moving in opposite directions, reach high. Okay, feet feel like they're rooting into the earth. Good, exhale, arms down to your side, nicely done. Okay, I'm trying to get as much length, as much space as we can in the spine and hips. All right, so let's give this a try. Okay, start with bent knees, but even bend them a little bit more. Okay, almost like this. Okay, put some weight into the right foot. Could really sit into that, and all of this should be activated. Okay, and the thigh, hamstring, and glute. Picking up the left foot, so a little hip work here just to pick up that foot. Soccer kick. Flex this foot, cross ankle over thigh. Hands on hips, okay? Check in if you're here, okay? Want to be here. Stay just like this. This could be the end of the pose. You can even twist like that, okay, once we get to it. Or, if you can, maybe sit back, extending the spine so heart's going forward. Hands can stay on hips, or hands here, or arms on the shins, okay? Stay here or go to the next part. Left hand on the left foot. Right hand is going to extend out to the side. Airplane wing. Inhale, lengthening through torso. Exhale, just a slight rotation. Doesn't have to be much. You're already doing a lot with the balance and a hip opener, this cross leg. Yeah, look at that. It's a beautiful pose too. Okay, unwinding, maybe hands on thigh, just to realign, start to lift, uncross, plant that foot. Let's get both arms up into the air, stay there. Feel how everything realigns here, especially through the hips, and arms return to your side. Walk it out, shake it out, all the way down to the feet and ankles. Okay, nice. It's a beautiful looking pose too. Okay, other side. Good bend in the knees. Let's put weight in that left foot, all this activated, okay? This nicely working section of the body, picking up the foot, kick the soccer ball cross, hands on hip, check into this, okay? Out of that, here, sit. Okay? Hands can stay here or on the leg or lower so your arms are against the shin. Okay, brace so you can feel the spinal extension. Yeah. Okay. We're going to place the right hand on the bottom of the right foot, left arm out to the side. Stay there. These are all the setups. Maybe you're focusing out there in front of you. Exhaling a little rotation. Good. Love it. Good challenge. Yes. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind. Start to rise. Yep. Let's uncross. Plant the foot, arms up into the air. Stretch and lengthen. Arms down to your side. Shake it all out. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Back to a flow. Inhale, reaching to the sky. Another big stretch. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Again, our flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and bend. Hands to the floor. Hop or step back. Plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to take another seat. So you might hop forward, cross your legs to take a seat, or kneel down to take a seat. Okay. Sit in the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. Hug knees in. For this next thing, you might want your block. So you might need to rock your way back up to seated because your block is probably down at the front end of your mat. So get it more towards the center so you can easily get it. Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Set the feet onto the floor, knees bent. Keep the right foot on the ground, cross left ankle over right thigh. Okay? Kind of mimicking what we just did. Okay? Standing cross leg. Okay? Now, if the leg is crossed and just relaxed here, we want to activate it. Either send or push the left knee forward on its own, or use your left hand and actually push gently into the thigh. So it's pushing forward, kind of like what we did in pigeon to brace ourselves to lift and twist. Okay? Just to get a little hip opener there. Now there might be some sensation, not a lot. You can stay here if it's enough, or release that push, but bring both legs towards yourself. So you're lifting your right foot up off the floor. Thread the needle. So you're using your left arm to thread the eye of the needle. That's the name of this pose, eye of the needle pose, or reclining pigeon. Use your hands and just clasp your hands around your right shin or around the right hamstrings. Getting into this left leg. It might feel good to add some movement. Part of the movement might just be either gently drawing the legs closer towards yourself. That, I know for me, it adds more sensation. And to soften it, I just release. So that might be a kind of a little pulse action, if that feels good to you. A couple more breaths here. We're going to add a twist to this. All right. We're just going to set the right foot back down onto the floor. Keep this leg crossed. Okay. Maybe flex that left foot that's crossed here and twist the whole lower half of the body to your right. So your foot might come down to the floor or that block. Okay, if you don't want to over-rotate. And you can extend your left arm out to the left side. For a little, you place your right hand on that right thigh just to help rotate a little bit more. Yeah, just to help support your body or Stabilize your body so you can turn or twist a bit more to your left. There you go. So you're twisting to your left, There you go. Three more breaths. One. Let's bring the lower half of the body back up to where it was originally. Let's uncross the leg. Okay, so both feet are on the floor. Just pause here for a moment for that realignment. Softening. Now if you use the block, you might even just send the block to the other side. So what you can do with that block, the foot can land on that block so you don't feel like you're going to over-rotate, but your foot might reach the floor without any problem. Okay, let's cross right ankle over left thigh. Give the right foot a little flex. We're giving the right knee and thigh a little push. Hold that for a moment. And these aren't forced, it's just guiding. Okay? Stay like this or reclining pigeon. Let's lift the left foot, draw the legs toward yourself. Eye of the needle. Right arm threads the needle. Clasp fingers around the left shin or hamstrings. Find the proper intensity. To provide the benefit you need in the part of the body that you need. All accompanied by breath. So this is a nice alternative to pigeon pose. If we get into a pigeon posture and it's just not working for you that moment, this is a nice alternative. All right, 2 more breaths. We'll get ready to twist. So we'll set the left foot back down onto the floor. This right leg is still crossed. That foot is flexed. And then just rotate the lower half of the body. So the right foot will actually come down to the block or down to the floor. So if you're twisted, and then extend your right arm off to the right side. And again, you might use your left hand bracing it against that right thigh that's right there to help rotate a bit more to your right. Even look to the right. And 3 more breaths. Softening the body, unwinding the upper body, then unwinding the lower half of the body. Uncross the leg. Both feet on the floor, knees bent. And then from here, decide what you would like to do next. As for some closing postures, you might draw both knees into chest, maybe a hip opener like happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose. If you want to go upside down, you might take legs up into the air or even a shoulder stand. Yes, good. At some point, you might add another twist, just a spinal twist or a repeat of the windshield wiper twist if that felt good for you. Any pose is appropriate. Yeah, adding plow pose, a back bend like fish or bridge or even wheel. Take your time, continuing to move into the poses that feel good, listening to what your body is needing. At any moment when you feel complete with these final movements, find stillness, moving into a posture like Shavasana or any other restorative pose, where you can really allow your muscles to fully release, to completely relax. No need to move just yet. Just return to the awareness of your breath, just in case your mind began to wander. Just acknowledge the thought. Set it to the side. Come back to your breath. Once again, return to the awareness of your breath. This time taking 5 slow, steady breaths with the intention of bringing movement back into your body. Aware of the breath moving through you, aware of how you're feeling. As you're approaching your 5th breath, again, just feeling movement return to your body. Eventually rolling onto one side of your body, move in slow motion. Then guide your way up to seated, still moving as slowly as you can. Once in seated, just feel the extended spine, sitting up tall and proud. Your hands can remain in your lap, or you can bring hands to heart center, taking one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow, saying, Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.